Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Okay. Let's see what happened. There we go. Okay. Looks like we are live. I am trying to deal with a couple of weird tech things today. Hopefully they work out okay. Let me know, please, if you're live. Let me know if you can see me, hear me, if there's any problems with the live stream. Okay, so let's see. Let me just pull up your comments here. I'm just gonna check in with where everybody is. Happy Wednesday. Today we're talking about, today we're talking about something. I'm not going to tell you what that something is quite yet because I want to give it a little bit of a preface. So today's topic is about the one thing that you can focus on more to bring more success in your business. And I think I even said in the little teaser for this live that you're probably already doing this. So if you're not, okay, great. Hopefully today will be helpful for you. But today isn't really about like what you need to do, what you need to add, doing anything differently necessarily. It's more about like, we're going to take out the magnifying glass today. And it's more about looking at this one aspect of you in the CEO role, this one aspect of you running your business, and just kind of diving into this one aspect and seeing how it affects your business across the board, across various things, from working with clients or creating whatever it is that you create, all the way down to the strategy that you choose, your team, the priorities that you pick for yourself this year, et cetera, et cetera. So this is something that really, I think, drives so much of business, or I would like it to drive so many people's businesses. And I just think it's something that we can all kind of dive into and really get into some of the nitty gritty today. So that is what the plan is. Okay. So, well, what is it? All right. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you what it is because I don't like it when people spend 8 years prefacing stuff. I'm actually a really good long-winded prefacer. And people are like, oh my God, are you going to get to the point? So what one thing can you do or focus on more in your business to bring you more success? Fulfillment. How can you focus more? Well, today we're going to talk about how you can focus more on your own personal and professional level fulfillment, how you can get more out of running your own business, whether it's loving the CEO role more, or the way that you serve your clients and customers, or what it is that you create and deliver. When we put fulfillment top of mind, when we put it down as one of our strategic priorities, when we put it down as one of our top values, and we allow some of these aspects that we're going to talk about today, when we allow that to drive decisions in our business, well, we get to have more fun and we get to be more fulfilled. But I'm actually going to give you business cases and like factual information today about why that actually makes you a good CEO. And why that actually makes you a good business owner, and why that actually makes it easier to make money in your business, or to make more money in your business, which I think is most people's desires. So where are you, just in general, something to start thinking about before we even get into the details is, where are you on a scale, or in the sense of fulfillment? Are you fulfilled in your work? What areas of your work do you feel fulfilled in, and what areas do you not, right? So a lot of people tell me, okay, Laura, I love what I do. I love my work. I love serving my clients. I love the work itself, right? Like I love the client facing, customer facing, or if you're an artist, like the creation portion of, and when I say artist, I mean all versions of artists and creatives. I love the work itself. I love the thing that I do, the way that I answer the what do you do question, right? For me, I love coaching. But a lot of people say, I just wish like somebody else would take care of all that other shit for me, right? Or I just don't love being a CEO. I choose to be a CEO for all the reasons that we've all chosen to be entrepreneurs, but the CEO aspect of running a business is hard for me, or maybe there's certain aspects of being the CEO that are not easy for you. Maybe there's certain aspects of being the CEO that drain you. Maybe there's certain aspects of the CEO that you're still building your confidence in, and you're still building skills in, right? So that's one example. It's not the only example, but it's an area and a type of thing to be thinking about when we think about fulfillment in various aspects of our work. Okay. Okay. So if you're live, say hi. I just want to make sure that the comments are on, because last week they weren't. It took a very long time for me to get, I mean, the comments are turned on. It just takes a long time for me to see them. So if you're live, say hi so that I can say hi back. Okay, great. Hi, Marcia. And so let's see, where did I want to start? Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is the first thing I want to talk about? I want to talk about strategy. Because I think this is something that not a lot of people are as focused on as I would like them to be. That sounds terrible. But really and truly, I think that we all, hi, Allison. Thanks, ladies. I can see your comments. Thank goodness. I think that, I'm just going to move my little window here so that I can see you guys. Okay. I think that, let me start with, I don't just mean, are you having fun? But I do think it's important when you're running a heart-centered business. I think most people who are in this group, who are people that I work with, who are people that I meet with all the time, if you're doing something that feels meaningful to you, doing work that feels meaningful to you, if the work itself was a big part of, if not the driver for what the work you wanted to do in the world, the work itself is really important. And I think sometimes people say, well, yeah, I've got the fulfillment piece because I love my work, right? I got the fulfillment piece covered. Check, Laura, I can check my box here today. I don't need to listen to any more of your live because I do love the work that I do. I built this business based in love. I built this business based on the thing that I geek out about the most in life, or whatever it is, right? But there's more. I want to, again, today is about pulling out the magnifying glass and really looking in at all of the details and all the various aspects of fulfillment. And if you are loving your work in general, but you don't like this, today's the day to pull that thing up. This isn't about finding problems and like looking at the teeny tiny, imperfections, but it kind of is. Like, it is important, I think, to put on the lens of, we talked about this in one of the earlier lives this year, where I talked about setting up your business for the year, making plans and goals and all that type of thing. Like, looking at your business through the lens of fulfillment is what we're doing today. Sometimes we look at the business through the lens of dollars. Sometimes we look at the business through the lens of processes and systems and the way that the work gets done and is organized, right? There's all different lenses and sets of glasses we can wear to look at our business. And today we're looking at fulfillment. So it's not just fulfillment in the work. That's a big part of it. And that's elements. Who am I talking to? Because somebody's making my nose itch. That's elements of what we're going to talk about today. But I just want to let you sort of open your mind to, like, how could you even increase your fulfillment more? How could you let go of the things that are on your worry list, or resolve the things that are on your worry list? Okay. So, all right. So the first thing I want to talk about is and let me know, ladies who are on, or people who are on live, let me know how this is making sense, what questions you have as we go. And if you have anything specific to your business that's related to this, please let us know if you feel comfortable sharing, and I'm happy to share some thoughts, feelings, coaching around that. So the first thing I want to talk about is your strategy. I think this is really, really, really important. And I see a lot of people at all levels and areas of their business, levels, I'll just call it levels of their business. So this doesn't just happen to new business owners. I see it happen a lot to new business owners, but it doesn't just happen to new business owners. I see this happen across the board. A lot of my clients, if not most of my clients, have been in business for quite a while now. And this continues to come up. So you may as well get used to it and look at it from this perspective. Wherever you are in business, this is something that, first off, it's okay if it's a challenge. But secondly, I think it's important to normalize the things that come up for us as business owners. So when we think about strategy, 9 times out of 10, what we want to do instinctively is we want to go, okay, so I do this thing. So I'm a coach. I do this thing. How am I going to make money at it? And then we spend our time and energy focused on how to make money in it. Okay, making money is great. Making money is absolutely a very important part of business. And it's one of the most important parts of business. But what I find is when we do it from that order, I want to figure out how I can make money, then we start to lose very quickly the big thing that we all have going for us, which is we have a heart-centered business. We have something that we love to do. Your genius is your power. Your magic is your magic. What it is that you do is your magic. And when we start first with how can I make money, then we end up choosing a strategy based on other things. I saw somebody who is also a coach, and this is how she made tons of money. So this is probably how I have to do it too. Right? So we get that like comparison. I guess nothing's wrong with that. The beautiful thing about the internet and people who are online running online businesses is that we can share information really quickly and easily. And there's all this information for you to absorb and learn from when you're growing your business in particular. But then the bad part is there's all this information, right? And it can get easy. You can easily get caught up in, oh my God, there's 97 strategy options. What am I supposed to pick? How am I supposed to do this? I guess I better do all of them, right? So if we're choosing our strategy based on what we think is going to make our first on what we think is going to make us money, can you see how that isn't automatic? We're automatically focusing first on basically the end result. And while it's important to wear the glasses of, okay, can I monetize this? What I offer to you first is start first with fulfillment. So I'm going to use myself as an example, or coaches as an example, because I just think it's a simple, easy example. What a lot of people who are coaches offer is some combination of one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and let's say like some online course or small, $25, $99 products, so to speak, that are like guides or ebooks or, 7 questions that'll help you with your blah, 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 right? So if I'm a coach, let's just use these 3 strategies let's just pretend these are the only options. This is what a lot of coaches choose: one-on-one, group, and then some sort of online course or evergreen product, okay? Some coaches do all 3. Some coaches just do 1, okay? The truth of the matter is there is no strategy that won't eventually make you money. Like, yes, I think there are certain strategies that are better suited for different business models and different business practitioners. But ultimately, like the things that people are doing are working. And the reason they're doing them is because they're working. And so it doesn't mean that, I guess what I'm trying to say, let me back up. So if I'm going to look at my business as a coach and I'm going to say, well, I really want to make money doing this, so I'm going to focus on group coaching because that's where I think the dollars are. That's where if I get, everybody pays me this much money and all I do is deliver one thing to all of them, one to many, that's where the dollars are. And that's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either. It depends on how you set it up. And it depends on your current numbers of following, people you have as your followers. It depends on a lot of things that can be true, and that absolutely can make you money. And is that what you want to do? There's a lot of coaches out there that are not super, super gifted at coaching groups. Running a group, holding space for a group, facilitating a group, particularly if you're going to have a group of people who also support each other, if it's some sort of mastermind or personal growth area where people are partnering and doing exercises, or they're commenting on each other to encourage them to support, supporting growth, etc. That's not for every coach. Just because you're an amazing coach does not mean that you're good at, and most importantly, fulfilled when running groups. So all of this is to say, if I take my coaching business, or if you take your coaching business and you look at these 3 strategies, rather than deciding in advance, one is going to bring you money and the other is not, you can work any one of those 3 strategies by themselves, and they absolutely will work. And I know people who have chosen each of those separately, and it absolutely works. What I encourage you to do when you're choosing a strategy, or if you already have your strategy set up, this is the beginning of the year, this is the time where we sort of like to look at our strategy and go, is this still how I'm going to do it? And if so, are there any adjustments or tweaks that I want to make to it? If you start first with, what do I want to do? What do I feel like doing? How am I feeling about one-on-one? I've talked about this a lot, how I used to have one-on-one and a group, and now I've moved into only one-on-one. Will I change that again? Yeah, probably. But right now, the thing that I'm drawn to, the thing that fulfills me the most, is my one-on-one coaching. Doesn't mean I didn't love my group. I actually absolutely did. In fact, it's one of the few things that I wanted to pull. I instantly, when I started this business, knew that I wanted to pull from my experience in corporate that I wanted to bring into this business. And I actually started this business wanting to reject everything from corporate because I wanted to do it myself, and I had burned out and I just didn't want to do it their way, right? Over the years, I've pulled some other things back in. But all that is to say, I love group. It's something I have experience in. It's something that always brought me joy in corporate. Of course, I would want to do that in this business, and I have. And it did bring me joy, and it did bring my clients results. And you know what I love even more? One-on-one coaching. Right now, anyway. You know what I'm drawn to even more is one-on-one coaching. So for me to choose this year's strategy based on what I think is going to bring me money is sacrificing my own fulfillment. But I'm going to talk today about why there are other business reasons. I'm going to give you my business case for why this is also good for your business, which is also good for making money easier. So the first question is, when you're choosing a strategy, ask yourself, okay, what would be fun? What would be the most fun? What do I want to do? What do I want to do with my time this year? How do I want to help people? What do I want that to look like? If I want to create something new, what kind of thing do I want to create? What is it? What do I want it to feel like? And what topics do I want it to cover? And then choose the strategy that will help you have that level of fulfillment. Choose the strategy that will help you deliver that thing that you're really excited to provide. Choose, or then go back and figure out how to properly monetize this thing that you really want to do. So starting with work that you love, within that, what do I want to do this year? What would I really love this year? What would bring me the most fulfillment? And then figure out how to monetize it. Anything can be monetized. You can figure out how to make money around anything. But if you don't know what you want to do, or you're choosing to do something like B- fulfillment versus A+ fulfillment, my philosophy is you're taking the less than ideal approach. And then here's the other thing, like full permission to just do whatever you want, to just run your business your own way. And for some people, that's enough anyway. But like I said, today I'm going to give you my business case for why this is actually a good financial and otherwise good business decisions too. Okay, let me know if this is making sense or if you have questions. So let's see. Number one, if you're staying in the space of what lights you up the most, what fulfills you the most, what you're the most excited about doing this year, there's a couple of reasons why this is also a good business decision for every other aspect of your business, your clients or your customers, your team, your potential clients and customers, everybody else that's affected by your business. So here's part of my business case. Number one, if you're doing work within, I have a post that went out, I think this week, called "What's the Magic Within Your Magic," right? So within my magic of coaching, if I choose that, thank you, Marsha. Marsha says it's making sense. If I choose the thing within coaching that lights me up the most, which in this moment in time, at this point in my evolution as a coach, I'm really drawn much more to one-on-one than group. Not ready to let go of group. If you want to do my Evolve program, it'll probably come back one day, but might look a little different. I don't know. We'll see. I'm drawn to do one-on-one. I'm loving doing my one-on-one. So if I'm choosing my magic within my magic, it's one-on-one coaching. Okay, awesome. If I do that, how do you think my clients are going to benefit? Like, it's really obvious, right? If I'm doing the thing that I'm even better at, they're going to benefit. I'm going to help them get better results. If I'm doing the thing that I'm even better at, or the thing that also brings me super amounts of joy, I'm going to end up attracting clients that also want that thing of mine, not just the coaching, but they want the one-on-one coaching, or not just the whatever. Maybe you're a painter, not just the painting, but the painting that also is mixed with a photograph, because the clients that are more interested in mixed media are going to be attracted to you, whatever that is, right? So not only am I going to help my client, I'm going to be better at what I'm doing. The right people aligned to my magic with my magic will also be an energetic match for what it is that I'm doing. So that helps me, that helps them. The people who are looking for me find me, the people that I'm looking for find me. Who are looking for me find me, and the people that I'm looking for, I find. Okay. So if I'm getting my clients better results and I'm doing better service for them, then what's going to happen? Anytime they're in a conversation with another business owner who's looking for a coach, probably they're going to mention me, right? Or if they're in a conversation with somebody else, to use the artist example, who appreciates art, when they hear someone say, yeah, I got this, I've been really interested in following these mixed media art, I hope I'm using the right term, mixed media artists, you know, they're going to go, oh, I know somebody who does that, right? So your marketing gets taken care of for you. I'm not saying you don't have to also do marketing, but then everything just exponentially adds on to itself because you're in your zone of genius, right? To use that term. The other thing that happens around marketing is your marketing becomes easier. Your selling becomes easier because you aren't selling something that is anything less than your favorite thing to do, right? And this isn't, by the way, to say like that you have to go to some version of the extremes and only offer, you know, that if I offer group coaching, then I'm watering down my services. No, but I'm going to let fulfillment drive me first. That's really all it is. So maybe I want to do both, but maybe I decide to prioritize one-on-one over group. And I only run my group once in the year because I want to make sure that I have a certain amount of my time and energy dedicated to my one-on-one clients, right? That's another way to accomplish this. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I don't want anybody to think that you can only just do one thing. Then your marketing is easier because you're like sitting in your, you know, magical space of your area of expertise. And it just makes that whole piece easier. It makes messaging easier. It makes the marketing more fun. I know a lot of business owners, particularly people who sell services, right? Who feel that they're selling in some version. I don't like this phrase, but like they're selling themselves, right? They are the service provider. Right? I don't have a team of coaches working with me that have followed along my lineage and my way of being. Like when you sign up to pay Laura Livingston Coaching, you're getting me one-on-one. So it makes the marketing easier. A lot of people have a harder time selling this like personal work. And I think it makes the marketing more fun. I think it removes a little bit of that awkward energy that can sometimes get into your marketing when you're not comfortable selling. I just think it makes it a little bit more easy and natural. That's just me. It's just what I've seen. And And then it's also that you're setting yourself apart because you're doing the thing that you're the most excited about. You're doing the thing that brings you the most fulfillment. Same with the whole, clients know who to refer you to, or friends and family know who to refer to you, because you're just, like sitting in this genius of your genius space, the magic of your magic. So all of that kind of bleeds together. And the truth of it is, the way that I see it is, when we follow where we're being called, where we are really more excited and interested to go, I think that's the call of the universe, your higher self, whatever it is. If you're following that energy, it's rarely going to lead you in the wrong place, maybe never going to lead you in the wrong place. Now, sometimes, and it's funny, I had a conversation with a client about this today. Sometimes we receive some sort of like, oh my God, this is such a great idea, or we get really inspired to do something or to add something. And part of what the challenge is, I think we have as CEOs, is to say, okay, really cool idea, feeling really called to do this. Is this something I'm going to do now, or sometime this year, or within the next 5 years, right? I've been in business for 4 years. I want to say about 3.5 years ago, I had a really big idea of a whole nother business that I want to create. I still really want to create this other business. And I'm still super inspired to create this second business. And I am not ready. I'm having too much fun right now. And I'm not drawn to shift my energy or to split my energy between two businesses at the moment. I don't want to. And so I can still have this big vision. I can still have this really cool idea that I probably will do someday. And I can also, I know a lot of people that say they have a book in them, right? And I can also choose to recognize my own discernment around when that gets done. Okay. But all of that is to say, if we're following the energy of fulfillment, then it's simply a matter of just executing a plan for the year, for the month, for the quarter, to bring you that fulfillment, to do the work that you really want to do. If you started a business doing work you really want to do, I hear a lot of clients say, well, yeah, I'm going to do this thing. It's cool. I can do it. I'll use this group program as an example, which is probably not a great example, because I loved doing my group program. But let's say somebody isn't very excited about running a group, and it's not a skill set that they bring to the table. But they're kind of like, it's fine, I can just do this because I think this will bring me money, and then I can relax and do what I really want. And I hear that a lot in some version or some form or fashion. I have seen it in myself before as well. This idea that I have, and it's a little bit counter to, I think, what we all had to agree to at some level to even start a business doing work that we love, is that you can make money doing work you love. And so I'm asking you to take that concept and take it up like 7 notches to say, even within the work that I love, like I started out as a mindset coach, only mindset, and I didn't want to do business coaching. Well, now I'm doing both. And it's actually what brings me more fulfillment. If somebody were to call me and say they wanted mindset only coaching, or that they wanted some life coaching, that doesn't sound fun to me anymore. Or better said, it doesn't sound as anywhere near as fun to me as coaching people who are entrepreneurs from a mindset and a business standpoint. To me, they go together anyway. So you could say you want only business coaching, and you're going to get mindset coaching anyway, because we're going to see that underneath, right? And vice versa. So all that is to say, just because you can do it, just because you're good at it, just because it's in your area of expertise, I encourage you to take that up a notch and to focus on the area, or to choose your time wisely and choose the things that you really, really, really want to do. Not just, oh yeah, I can totally do that. It's fine. It'll make me money. Because I would argue the thing that you really, really, really want to do also can make you money. So you may as well do that. Okay. And I think too, like within this is what I was just talking about, where I used to do just mindset coaching. Then I added the business coaching in. I think it's really important. I have a live planned for sometime in February around how important it is that we evolve as particularly as practitioners. And I would argue like I don't really know that it matters what it is that you do, whether you're an artist or some sort of, tactical, practical, like tangible delivery, like maybe you do web design or you do people's taxes or whatever. If you're a coach or practitioner or a healer, I think whatever it is that you do, as you learn and grow as a person, your work, your art, your craft learns and grows and evolves. And what you used to love may not continue to be the thing that you love, even if you're still within the same ballpark of what you started out to do. And I think that's really important to really cultivate that growth over time. Sometimes we take training classes and we decide we want to focus on a certain aspect, or that we just add different things to our repertoire and we start to realize, okay, now I just sort of am doing all of these things. Whatever it is, it's really important that you're paying attention to your growth over time and to within this thing that you do that you already love, what within that do you love the most? Because that's where you can keep adding fulfillment to your work. And again, there's all of these things are also easier ways to add dollars to your bottom line. Okay. Oh, the other thing I feel with people too sometimes is when so I was talking about, I feel that sometimes people are, and I've seen this with clients, with buddies, when we're trying to talk ourselves into doing something, like when we're following the shoulds or like, it's fine, I can just do this group, right? Once we realize that we actually instead want to do the one-on-one, or we instead want to do something else, sometimes what happens in that is we realize, actually, you know what? I can have more confidence in what I'm doing if I do the thing that I'm the most fulfilled by, because I have more skills in that area. It's easier for me to, back to marketing, like speak to the results that I help my clients get because I've been doing this for a really long time, or I think I could charge more. I feel better and more confident in myself as a practitioner if I'm doing this thing versus both of these things, or whatever it is. If I, move into this direction, sometimes people go, well, now I can feel like I can charge more, right? And some of that stickiness around, I really should raise my prices because I think that I probably charge not enough and I can't quite get there. Sometimes it's just that you're not giving yourself enough credibility. And when you realize that you're actually like moving more and more and more deeply into your zone of genius, you're like, yeah, I'm good at that. I can charge more money for that, right? And it starts to remove that sort of weirdness around pricing. Not always, but sometimes I find that helps. The other thing is, I think sometimes it also, a lot of times people realize and give themselves more credibility, as I was saying, like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for a really, really long time. The new piece was this ad, right? So I'll give myself as an example. So I spent 18 years in corporate doing change management and consulting and human resources type work. Then I moved into being a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist, and I started there. And granted, I had a psych degree. I had all of my work in business was related to employee stuff and people management and all that, like applying the psychology to the business. So I still had all made sense to me. I was helping organizations change before. Now I'm helping individuals change. That was all really clear to me, that was sort of a natural for me, an obvious progression, and that I was still kind of using some of those same skills and some of that experience, which is also something I'm naturally good at. So I got that. But because I was new specifically to hypnotherapy, and because I was new specifically to mindset coaching, I struggled a little bit in the beginning, as I think everybody does, with my credibility. Oh, I'm only been doing this for a year, oh, I'm only going to charge this much, or I'm still trying to figure out and wait and see what kinds of results my clients get. Now I know I'm helping them with stress, and I know I'm helping them with making good decisions, right? Or whatever it is. But there was that sort of element of, okay, and it took me a little bit of time to build that confidence in this new service that I was delivering, right? And then over time, when I stopped being mad at my corporate job and I started realizing that all the people that were coming to me for mindset coaching and hypnosis were entrepreneurs, I realized, okay, you know what? I'm not so mad at corporate. I'm already naturally coaching people around their businesses. Maybe I should just also call myself a business coach and put the two together. And that's what I did. And that was a whole long progression. But I think sometimes that giving yourself the credibility, because once I did that, I've been doing business change since I was like 24. So of course I can charge people for that. Of course I can, right? It helped me to really recognize. And then I already knew what results am I already getting my clients? What results can I also keep getting my clients? What's the impact? How am I know how much I can charge. It's just a different level of confidence, because I realized that I was now pulling in even more elements of what I'm really good at, what really lights me up. Okay, hope this is making sense. So the other thing that happens, guys, is, so obviously all of these pieces around marketing, around bringing in more clients or whatever, customers or buyers, all of that can help the bottom line. But I think that the big message I have for the pieces about what helps the bottom line is it helps you get there easier. I think you can get there with any strategy, but I'm really, really, really big on helping you to not burn out, on reminding you that you can find a way to do it that doesn't wear you out. I don't think that you have to wear yourself out, burn yourself out, exhaust your team, work every evening and weekend just to make the dollars. And so when you're focused on the thing that you're really, really good at and the thing that you're really excited to do, some of those other aspects of business start to be easier, right? Your team even will dial in more quickly and easily to your genius, and they'll be able to do whatever it is they do for you with more ease. The other thing I think this does when we start with the fulfillment, what do I want to do? What strategy feels fun? What way do I want to approach it? How do I want to serve my clients this year? What feels fun versus what's going to make me money? What feels fun? And then I'm going to monetize that. The other thing that does from a mindset perspective, it keeps you focused on, I think, making good business decisions, making business decisions with a clear head, which is so, so, so important when we're CEOs. It's so easy when you're running a business that's so personal, that is your baby. It's so easy to not have a clear head, to make decisions based on fear, to make decisions based on what so-and-so's doing over there, to worry about small things, because this is your baby, because this is deeply personal, because this is your creation, because you can only see so far, how do I say this? Like when you're in it, you sometimes can't see the forest for the trees, right? You can only see so much of a big picture when you're also in it as a business owner, which is I think one of the biggest challenges of running a business. That's why I have a business coach. That's what I do for my clients. So again, from a mindset perspective, but this is also good business. This is also good for business and good for your bottom line. If you focus first on fulfillment, it also keeps you clear-headed, and it keeps you 9 times out of 10, it will keep you better. I'll say it this way. It keeps you better positioned to make good business decisions instead of making business decisions based out of fear or based out of the should planet, right? Oh, I should run a group because that's what I see most coaches do, and that's how they make really good money. I also think when you're focusing on what's fulfilling and doing the stuff that you really want to do, sometimes it also shines a light on, oh, that's why that wasn't really quite working for me, right? When you like, have you ever, how do I want to say this? Have you ever been in a relationship or been in a job that you knew you should leave and you knew why you should leave and you knew why it wasn't good for you, right? And then you leave. And in hindsight, a month, a year later, you turn around and you look at that old job or that old relationship and you see other reasons why you needed to leave too, or you don't even feel, or like you don't feel the full impact of the relief of having left that which was no longer serving you until you've left it. And then you can go, oh man, I knew I needed to leave, but I needed to leave even more than I knew that I needed to leave, right? So it also can help you see, I see why that one thing I did in 2021, it was bringing in money, but I felt like it should have brought in more. Or that thing that it was in 2021 that it brought me in money, but it just always seemed really hard. It just, something always didn't, you know, the behind the scenes of it just never quite worked. Or the people told me they enjoyed it, but I just, something felt a little not perfect, right? It doesn't even have to feel off. But you'll start to notice the things that you tolerated or that were good enough. And this isn't about being in the land of perfection either, but you start to kind of, it's sort of the hindsight view of like, oh, I see why that didn't quite work. Or I see why that just never felt right. Maybe that's a better way to say it. I think there are things, I've had this conversation with several of my clients over the like sort of doing like a year-end review and what are we doing in this year? And there have been several things where a client has made the decision either to not continue something or to tweak or make adjustments to something because it just didn't quite feel right. And, you know, we gave it a shot and it's not doing it for me. So let's figure out what's not doing it for me. Do you just not want to do it anymore? Or is it just about, you know, tweaking the other thing? So, or tweaking something else around it. Okay, hope that makes sense. All right, and then I've got just a couple more things I want to say before I go. So here's the other piece. If you focus on fulfillment and then figure out how to monetize it, the other thing that this does for you, and this is where I'm really, really big on my soapbox this year in particular, the other thing that this does for you is it helps you to create more sustainability in your business. Focusing on, I'm going to say this again, focusing on your fulfillment or prioritizing your fulfillment or looking at your business through the lens of fulfillment also helps you create sustainability, especially if you take action based on it. Also helps you create sustainability. Why? Because let's go back to that person who didn't love doing group coaching programs and wasn't experienced and magical about facilitating groups and was doing it because they knew they could and thought they should and thought that was probably the best way and easiest way to make money. Okay, so this poor person is not poor. We all have done this at some level. This person is probably an amazing coach and they're forcing themselves slightly outside of their area of expertise, slightly outside of their genius, or they're sitting next to their genius where they're part in their genius and part in something else. But let's say they're successful at it and they bring in this money. What's the next step? 9 times out of 10, that person's going to run the group again. Because I believe that once you build a business in a certain way, how do I say this? You run the risk of having to sustain it in that same way. Now, absolutely, could she make an adjustment? And that's partly what I'm suggesting. If this is you and you're in the group coaching program and this isn't your space and you'd rather do one-on-one, how can you start selling to your former group coaching clients into a one-on-one program with you. Hey, loved how you learned blah, blah, blah in the group. I'm diving in to do some one-on-one coaching this year. Would you like to join me? Right? Starting to share, you can always make a pivot, but I think it's harder. It's harder. And so choosing now to focus on your fulfillment will make it easier for you to sustain what you're building, because every time you put energy and time into something, it's more like a startup cost, right? Any new offer, any new thing that you create, it's more of a startup cost. And then you start to benefit from it financially. Then you have less work to do, blah, blah, blah. But if you've built this beautiful group program and then you decide to pivot, then you've spent a lot of time and energy on something that actually doesn't fulfill you. And then all you've done is teach everybody in your following that you're a group coach only. Right? That's the other thing that happens. And so again, it doesn't mean that you can't change. And that's one of the things that I love to help people do, is to make these changes. But can you see how, if I start first now, doesn't matter how long you've been in business, doesn't matter how much fulfillment you've focused on, if I start now to prioritize my fulfillment, can you see how that helps my future to be more sustainable? Because whatever I build is going to be easy to sustain because I love it and I want to keep doing it. And my clients are going to send me more people, and my team is going to be able to repeat what we've done to execute each one. It also naturally decreases your stress. It keeps you further and further away from burnout because you're naturally good at doing these things. Even if you spend the same amount of time, I'm just going to keep using this coaching example. I could coach somebody one-on-one, and this is actually true for me. So I was using that other person as an example, but I'll use myself as an example because here's another great way to kind of slice and dice it. I could do the same number of hours coaching one-on-one in a week versus a group. I could do the same. I could coach a group for the same number of hours in a week that I coach one-on-one clients. And I will have used more energy to coach a group. So if I've used more energy to coach a group and I either prioritize one-on-one instead of group, or I just don't do the group at all, even if I'm still coaching the same number of hours per week, I have more energy to devote to my business. I have more energy to devote to my life. I have more energy to devote to my friends and family, et cetera, right? Energy is actually ultimately equates to your time, because there's only so many there's only so many hours a week you can spend doing something that drains your energy or doesn't all the way feed your energy. Or there's something sort of, I think, in between, where it just requires a lot of energy, right? Like the coaching program, like the group coaching, excuse me. So again, if this is how much energy I have to focus on my business in any given week, and I use up a certain amount of it coaching a group, can you see how much more freedom I get if I only do the one-on-one? So that also affects my energy. If it affects my energy, it affects my time, which also can affect my bottom line, because if I'm not being efficient, then I can't see as many clients or get as many marketing pieces of marketing out the door, right? Can you see how all of this does actually get down to the practical and the bottom line? Okay, Marcia's got a question. Marcia says, this is helping me realize why I'm drifting towards concentrating on online courses. Although I'm in a new territory, I taught piano and cello 30 some years as a side gig, and I know I'm good at teaching. The one-on-one is dragging me down because I feel like the distance healing can't be a substitute for hands-on. Yeah. The individual problems get me down when I can't touch them because I find it second best. Yes, exactly. So I love that phrase of second best, right? So it's something you're good at. It's something that probably does bring you fulfillment, and you're very clear of what the top choice is. So at some level, even second best is an energy drain, right? Or I think drain is a little bit too like on the other end of the spectrum. If there's if you're being fed energetically or you're being drained energetically, it's not here. Can you guys see me? It's not here, but it's here, right? It's like a B version. I always like to use like grades from high school. So it's not your A energy feed, but it's your B energy feed. And over time, when we, just like I was talking about, when we leave a relationship or we leave something that doesn't serve us, same happens with our fulfillment. When you do stuff that lights you up so much, you start to become less tolerant of the things that used to be like, it's a B minus C plus, but it's good enough. No, my B minus C plus is like so much harder for me to tolerate now because I know what it feels like to be in that like A plus fulfillment land. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for sharing, Marcia. Oh, somebody else hopped in. Courtney says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Courtney. I'm happy to see you on here, my dear. I thought you were usually working at this time, so it's nice to see you. All right, I just wanted to share one more thing. What was it? Oh, I just forgot to say something earlier. So when we're talking about strategy, the other reason why this helps it become more sustainable and why it's a better business decision when you choose your strategy based on fulfillment is because it's just a lot easier to commit to it. It's a lot easier to put time, energy, money, resources to something that you're like doing a happy dance about than something that you're like, okay, this is fine. I can do it. It's a B and it'll bring me money. I offer the flip of like, I choose to do the A fulfillment item and I choose to decide that it's also going to bring me money. And if I need to invest time, energy, resources, and other experts to come in to help me monetize it, then I know that that energy, that money, that investment is going to the right place. Courtney says I picked up. Oh, good. Well, I'm happy to see you. I hope you can join us for the remainder of our Wednesdays. So again, all of this is around you enjoying yourself more as a business owner. All of this is around fulfillment. All of this is around you being able to create sustainability in your business so that you don't have to keep recreating the wheel, try to figure out what works, that you can stay more in the space of your genius, more in that space of creativity, creating more cool, fun things that you love, programs or pieces of art or whatever it is. And that you can sort of, let go. I hope this helps also let go of those times where you want to say like, oh crap, I got to figure out how to make money doing this, or I better do it this way so that I can make money. Just decide that you can make money, whichever strategy you choose, and then put your time and energy into that. Put your focus there. That's what focus is about. You will be more committed. It will be more sustainable. When you hire people to help you with that thing, you will all be getting there. And it's also, by the way, faster because you're that committed. You're in your zone of genius, everybody, and you know that you'll be able to repeat something. That's, I think, oftentimes people's hesitation to invest money in any kind of resource, whether it's, I don't know, social media expert or web designer expert or whatever it is that you need from an expert perspective or a coach or whatever it is. It's so much, it makes a lot more sense in the long term. And it makes it a lot easier, I think, emotionally to invest dollars in something that you already know you want to keep doing. You already know you just need to help with taking it to the next level. You already know this is what lights you up. You already know this is what fulfills you. And you already know you're good at it. So all you really need to do is, if you're pivoting or if you're starting, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is focus and move forward in this way that feels really good and juicy to you, instead of, it's fine, I can do it. Right? That's not as much fun. And I think those of us that have special gifts and are using our businesses to put these gifts out into the world. That's why it's so important to stay that deeply tied to your fulfillment and to keep asking yourself questions, right? And that's not to say that I need to love every aspect of my business. I still write my own copy. I still really like that. I probably should get some help at some point in the future, but right now, it doesn't drain me. If it starts to drain me, or if it starts to be a drag, or if I don't know, if it starts to not be fun, then I need to get some help, right? I need to ask for some help because I can recognize that there are certain, I guess my point is, ask yourself questions around different aspects of your business. What is dragging me down this week? What's in my worry list? Where could I have more fun? And again, it doesn't mean that you have to outsource I don't believe in outsourcing every aspect of your business, but this question around how could I build more fulfillment into my business? If you ask yourself this question, 9 times out of 10, it might help you identify the areas that you should outsource first, because it's probably the thing that's going to drain you the most, that drains you the most. And again, I see this so often when people are choosing a strategy. And I feel that this time of year is when people are reevaluating everything in their business and setting goals and saying, okay, what's going to get me to this goal? And that's great. I hope you have a financial goal. I hope you're hoping to make money. I tripled my income last year. Most of my clients at least doubled their income. That's so important. And please don't hear me saying that I don't want you to make a ton of money. I absolutely do. But rather than start with how can I make a ton of money, start with what makes me the most fulfilled. And then take that thing and make a ton of money doing it. Take that thing and work on monetizing. Take that thing and choose a strategy that lines up with the thing that you most want to do. And look, if you think about most of the famous people that are out there, the people that everybody knows off the top of their head, the people that have single names like Oprah, right? Madonna, whatever. Those people are like epic levels of being in their genius. And they didn't get there by half-assing their work, right? They didn't get there by taking a B job. No, they might have climbed the ladder, they might have put in their time, blah, blah, blah. But they got there by living in their genius and following that intuition and following the energy of that fulfillment of the thing that they really wanted to do. Steve Jobs is another example. He got a lot of flack. I just finished the Steve Jobs book. Y'all are going to hear a lot about him because I'm such a big fan. But he got a lot of flack for a lot of decisions that he made, but he was 100% clear every single freaking page in that book. He said, we make great products. We make excellent products. Everything lined up to what he wanted to do, which was to keep pushing the envelope of innovation of really great products. And that's absolutely what he did. And that's what made him such a genius that we all study, such an amazing entrepreneur, even though some of the decisions he made aren't popular. And for sure, the way that he ran some of his business wasn't well received, but that's what made all of those people what they are. It actually came back into their fulfillment, what lights them up, what's in their sort of like A+ zone of genius. So again, I think following your fulfillment and following the energy of that and staying true to yourself. I talked a lot about business and bottom line today, but like this is also about you as a business owner, growing as a soul and a person. And you have full permission to do what you want to do. And you don't need another reason. That's enough. And when you worry that that's not true, when you can't give yourself that permission, when you feel like you need the data, I hope you'll come back and listen to this live and listen to my business case of all the reasons why this actually makes your business run more smoothly. It actually makes it easier to get new clients. It actually makes it easier to market your products and services. It actually makes it easier to get a team on board. It's just everything becomes easier and lighter. Not easy. There's no easy buttons in business, but you can add more ease and flow into your business when you're following that and you're not making choices out of fear and you're not making choices out of comparisonitis. All right, loves. Have a lovely week. Thanks for hanging in. I love seeing those of you on live. If you're watching the replay, please drop me a comment. Let me know what questions, comments you have and tag me and I'll come back in there. Next week, our topic is about team, and I am definitely in February. I know for sure 2 lives. One will be part 2 of last week's. Last week, I talked about how I tripled my income last year. and also was able to deal with this crazy neck injury. And I have more to share on that. So I'll share that behind the scenes part 2 next month. I will also share more on what I was talking about today around how we evolve as practitioners over time. I'm going to also do a behind the scenes, a little case study on myself of how I've evolved as a practitioner over the years, and some lessons around that I really want to share and pay forward for everyone. Again, you don't have to be a practitioner to get something out of this. Where you can sort of learn a little bit about what we're very similar to what we're talking about today around how you can keep following that fulfillment, how you can keep evolving as a practitioner, and why it's good not only for yourself, but your business. You're welcome, Marcia. Thanks for joining, everybody. And I will see you next week, same time, same place.